Shit.
Yeah, so let's take a look at the picture together, okay?
Let's get in there.
Let's look at it.
I'm feeling good right now. Let's go ahead.
Oh, man. This is the picture right here. It comes from Empire, and it's a picture that we have seen before. We saw it at a different moment in time, but this is fucking clean as shit, dude. This is so clean. I mean, God, it's so pretty.
They're saying put some respect on it. That look. You know what that looks like right away, dude. Immediately when I saw that, the song that I was talking about earlier that popped in my head, and I know you hate it because I played it to you 100 times. But it's, I came, I saw, I conquered, I bought, I came, I saw, I conquered, I bought. That motherfucker said like that house party was fire. Like, where's the kegger? Dude, he looks badass. I love it. I love the way he looks in that fucking scene.
Yeah, dude. It's dope as shit, man. What do you call that thing he's holding there? I've seen people mention it.
We looked this up. It was called it's a halogen.
Halogen, yeah.
Halogen, yeah, it's a halogen. Which it makes sense because it's used by firefighters. So he obviously fucking killed a firefighter and stole it.
Yeah, which we've heard some theories that that's what happens. The firefighters break in after the events of Halloween. You saw Lori in the trailer, right, coming through and being like, let it burn, let it burn. How to get burned? How to get burned?
Yeah.
You saw that, and I guess the firefighters show up. They go to save him because you don't fucking save Michael Myers. Michael Myers is a killer shock, and he kills them and he takes their halogen and dude. I've never that is going to end up being one of the coolest weapons Michael's ever used to slaughter some motherfuckers.
It's gonna be amazing. I hope he keeps it for a while. Like that looks like the accessory for an action figure. You hope that he keeps for the movie, like at least for half of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like that looks badass as shit, dude. Yeah, I mean, and he looks great, man. Like I mean, every like badass rock and roll moment ever on a cover album comes to mind when you see that image. Like Meatloaf, Bad Out of Hell. Shit, it's like this motherfucker ain't taking no chances, and he's probably like, if you set one more house fire around me, I'm gonna lose it.
You burnt my toy collection, you bastards.
Yeah. He's like, by the way, I don't have house insurance.
It's just so clean looking, dude. Like, I don't want to take it down. Like, it just looks so. He's got the fire blazing behind him, and James Jude Courtney is not only he's not just the dude who puts on the mask and walks slowly. He's a fucking stunt actor, man. Like, he does this shit. That shot that they filmed of him at the end of Halloween 2018, where those flames are going around him. He actually stood there and like withstood a lot of that heat for a lot of that. And they wanted him to use a stunt coordinator, but he wanted to do it himself. That scene, man, when he's coming out of there, it's just got all I can think about, like, what John Carpenter score is going to play at that fucking moment, dude.
I mean, it's going to be amazing. But I'm always thinking when I'm looking at Michael, like what he was maybe thinking at that moment. He's like, so someone forgot to take the pizza rolls out of the oven. So, I mean, not my fault. But yeah, I like it because it kind of looks the way that he looks. I think a lot of people are mentioning Jason Voorhees. He does have a Jason Voorhees look to him. He is wet on wet. But I also saw someone mention that that's the blood. Like he's just covered in fucking blood, and that's cool too. But
well, if you look at the picture, you see all those droplets. Like I like all around him, like all over the fucking place. Like I think those are embers, but they almost look like water too. Like I mean, maybe they're in the middle of putting the house out, and there's just fucking water dripping off it while the rage blazes. Yeah. But it could be that. It could be that. That's firefighter water, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, I think that it kind of seems like they're in the process of maybe putting the house out, and he's gonna sneak out the back before his dad gets home from work. Like he's, but yeah, I obviously this shot is gonna be in the movie at some point. I don't know if it's because I know that someone said, well, this showcase is that it's taking place right after the climactic end of Halloween 2018, so they're going to show this moment happening. I don't know if this is Jamie Lee Curtis looking over, and maybe seeing it as she's driving away, or if it's some other scene, but it looks, God, dude, I have a boner for 3 weeks. Like, I'm gonna be like knocking down traffic with this boner when I walk out in the street.
I don't think that Jamie Lee Curtis would see him because she's already way down on the road before the firefighters even get there to rescue him or whatever. But I think it's just going to be, I think what would be badass if he kills, and again, someone said spoilers. We don't know. We're speculating because he's holding a fucking firefighter weapon and, you know, he's walking out of a house that's on fire. We're just assuming that he kills some firefighters with that shit. But when he walks out of there, uses that probably to get himself out or whatever, and he stomps out, dude, and that music plays. Maybe that's where the Kills title drops, like Halloween Kills or whatever. Gonna be fucking insane, dude. This movie's gonna be so fucking raucous, man.
Like, especially if they do that kind of weird like thing where you see Michael and then they zoom out the camera and you hear this weird kind of screeching noise with John Carpenter cool like stylized music, and it goes Halloween, and it goes bum, 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 bum. Oh, fucking shit.
Yeah,
can I get a ticket now? Can you give me the
or what they play the Shape Hunts Allison when he turns the corner and it's like like he fucking walks out. I cannot wait to see what the fuck they do with that scene, man. It looks so cool, dude.
And he looks big as fuck, dude. Like I mean, that guy looks like he got benched on several playoff games in the NBA, and that motherfucker's ready to start fire when he gets up and he's like, "You gonna call me in, coach? I got it. Don't worry about it. I'm wearing my Jordans." But yeah, dude, I think he looks great. The wet part, I know that some people, like, again, we've already talked about that. I think someone actually mentioned that in the last picture that we dissected a little bit. They were like, it's blood from, you know, it's most likely blood from all the killing he's done, and I assume that that's exactly what. He's done some killings. He got that weapon from somewhere.
Hey, let me throw this idea out there to you. What if they're like, they don't see him and like go to help him or whatever, but they're just putting the fire out of the house and they've got their big fucking fireman's hose, right? And then like Myers comes around the corner and he starts moving towards him. And what if Michael's walking out of the house and he's literally on fucking fire? Like literally flames coming off and on fire, and they hit him with the hose. And like they hit him with this big fucking hose and he just like stomps through that motherfucker, walks right through all this water hitting him and just kills the dude. That would be like somewhere equal to him walking through the glass doors in Halloween 2, you know, just like powering right through that powerful ass fireman's hose. Like just, and I know it probably sounds corny, but I'm just imagining that shit hitting him and him just keep coming would be dope.
I'd like it. I mean, like he's like, it's like, I've been shot, I've been set on fire, I've been blown up, and now these motherfuckers are using water. Well, it ain't gonna work unless it's blessed by the Lord. I'm walking through.
Jason died by water. How can we use that?
But it would be funny if the fireman's like, "Holy shit, that's Michael Myers, man! Turn the hose on him."
Or he just bends over and spreads his butt cheeks. He's like, "I haven't wiped in a long fucking time, dudes."
It almost like Michael was hiding in a hidden cubby somewhere in the basement, and then they were putting the out, and he snuck out, and while the fireman was like investigating, but you know, and then he killed him. But the thing about it is the house is still on fire, so they're not even done with their job yet, and he's already in the doorway posing for Vogue. Like, that's funny, by the way. Like, he's standing there like he wants to look badass for you. Like, he's like, you see?
Yeah.
You think they can stop me? Like, no way.
He's basically doing the equivalent of helicopter with his dick right before he has sex. Helicopter, helicopter, helicopter.
He looks cool.
Marco V. Villatoro says he looks ready to insert that in someone's head. I guarantee that spike right there, that's going in someone's fucking eye hole, dude.
Or her butthole. But I mean, whatever. But you know, I think he's already used it. I think that this comes after a really cool scene, in which he's already used it. Most likely against a fireman.
Yeah, I think
I don't know why I felt like I separated those two words, like fireman, fireman.
and I'm with you, dude. It seems like when he's holding that, you're gonna want him to use it so much that it's gonna feel like when you're in a game and you get a badass weapon, but then you come across another badass weapon and you have to drop one of the weapons. When he gets rid of the halogen, dude, I'm gonna almost be pissed. Like, shit, dude. I don't know. I want to see you do some damage to that thing.
I think he's gonna do some really cool fucked up shit with that. It looks like what happens when you chew 5 gum. Or like when you have
Big Red, really
now discontinued jalapeno thick burger from Hardee's. But yeah, man, it looks great. I can't wait to see it.
Somebody said, what about rain? That makes sense too. That could be rain. If you look at what if it starts raining?
I would say you're maybe correct, but the fact that we see a lot of red lights and blue and red lights going towards the house as Jamie Lee Curtis is hitchhiking. So
yeah, and also he's not even out of the house yet. He's not out of the house yet, so he wouldn't be wet. He wouldn't be that wet from
Yeah.
inside the house if that was rain coming down. So I don't think that that's it, but I see where your head's at there.
That's either again, that's either blood or water. It's either one, but I mean that's why he's wet on wet.
He's so goddamn wet though that I do wonder if there is a fire hose scene. That sounds like a weird thing to say. Like I wonder if they hit him with a fucking hose at some point. But that would be badass if he fucking storms.
Courtney Love's vagina when she found out that she was going to be the sole proprietor of Kurt Cobain's estate.
if he fucking like tears through a breaking down burning wall like to make his appearance and just take somebody out, and meanwhile like he stumbles into like a hose that's going in the house. Fuck, there's so many badass things they could do. So many ideas. We could put our beds together. We'll save so much space.
Let's make bunk beds and do karate in the garage.
Yeah.
But I think what's gonna happen, dude, honestly, if you look at it, like I think maybe he's like, we don't know yet. I mean, I know there was a lot of hints in Halloween 2018 whether or not he was supernatural or not, and certainly there's a case to be made that he is supernatural in a lot of ways. But I feel like he was hiding, as the flames were coming, and maybe just because of his mind or the way that he almost plans things out to a T, that he knew the firefighters were going to come, or somehow he fucking knew. I don't know. Maybe Thorne told him, but like he hid, and then when the firefighter, maybe he stills the halogen and either breaks through the metal whatever the cage that they put him in, or he breaks through the outer wall or something, and then he comes back. I don't know why he would do that on the outer wall and then come back up through the doorway to be like, hi.
Well, maybe it was in the basement or something. Like maybe like tears through a post or something. I don't fucking know. It's just like I said, there's just so many ideas. Like you got your toys. How do you want to play with them? Dude, but that shot like just screams everything they've been saying about this movie, about it being just violent, about the death count being high, about it being like the meat of the three movies, whereas the first one is a reintroducing of Michael. The second one is the crazy shit that goes on, and the third one is how you deal with the repercussions of all this shit. I've said this before, but I think that Halloween Kills, and this is not just out of hope, it's not just fanboy hope here. I really, really believe, man, and everything I see solidifies this even more for me. I think Halloween Kills is going to be the best movie of this trilogy. I really think so.
I think that we've discussed. It'll be The Empire Strikes Back. I also feel like it's going to be end on a downtrodden note, much like a sequel, a trilogy would. You end on a downtrodden note in the middle of it, and your climax happens in Halloween Ends. Like Return of the Jedi, everything is set forth and set right, and everything is good. But like Empire Strikes Back ways, in the middle of a trilogy, you would end it on a sour note, and then they would have to tune in for the conclusion, which obviously is going to end on the side of right. But and I know that other people had said that they were tearing up and crying during Halloween Kills. So it also leads us to believe, which we've said that before, that maybe Jamie Lee Curtis dies in this one, or at the very least, one of her daughter, or I don't think they would kill off the granddaughter this early, but maybe.
Yeah, I think if anybody, it's going to be Karen, dude. I think Karen dies. I don't think Jamie Lee Curtis is going to die in this one. I definitely think you're right. I don't think Allison's going to die. I think it's going to be Karen for sure. Gary Callow says there's a clip out there where he's swinging at people like hell, so maybe he goes all Halloween 6 on the firefighters. That looks like it's a knife when he does that, but that is another scene that's going to show you how fucking gory and mean this movie is going to be. That one scene in the trailer where he's like, "Get this! Take it. You gonna take? If I give you the funk, you gonna take it."
Fighting away the paparazzi trying to spool the fucking movie. Don't do
it. And then let's see here. And then there's a little bit more about this too, by the way. David Gordon Green said some stuff that was kind of interesting. Ryan Gillen says it'll be like Halloween 6, LOL. Fireman yells, "Hey, that's my fire truck!" And then he gets his throat ripped out. Remember the bullet dude from Halloween 6? Like, "Hey, that's my truck!"
That'd be good. If they throw that in there, I'll enjoy it.
That would be fucking awesome. And then Marco V. Villatoro, thanks, buddy. He says, what if he kills the firefighters as they go in to check if anyone else is in the house, and after he killed them all, he walks out? That's another thing too. Like, if they find him laying down in the house? Do they walk in the house and meet him there? Obviously,
I don't know.
He meets them in the house because he comes out of the house holding the halogen.
I feel like they found him before because the house is still on fucking fire. Nellie is still having a raging fucking keg party in there. It's getting hot in here. I think somebody actually said that. Yeah, I think that in the middle of their putting out the fire, Michael is escaping, which makes sense. Because then they could say, we found no bodies. So
right, yeah, they had to be in there at some point because he comes out with a weapon. So I think that's true right there. And another thing, man, like that house was on fire. That was a lot on fire. Like, You know, like a lot of times a house that looks like that, you wouldn't think they would even run into. Like
that
if you,
motherfucker look like a Mayhem commercial.
yeah, like it's hard to picture anybody running in that house. I guess there is a little bit of opening before the fire gets there, but
Kurt Russell shows up with Stephen Baldwin and does it from back.
I can make it. Dennis Leary from Rescue Me shows up. He's crazy. He'll do anything. So let's look at this here. This is what David Gordon Green had to say. Also, this comes from Empire as well. But he said, this movie is a great popcorn genre movie and not really any kind of statement. But it's strange how things line up. It couldn't be a more interesting time to release a movie like this. And
yeah, that's interesting.
That's interesting.
Statement.
You know, and I talked about this. WeWatchTheMovie.com. Make sure you go there to get all your horror movie news in the article. But
and free nudes.
Yeah, definitely, of B. Arthur and me together. I wish. But definitely, I think what he's referencing there is obviously what happened at the Capitol a couple weeks ago, right? Can you not hear me? My shit's on. Can you guys hear me?
You're good. I got you back.
Oh, okay. But what I was going to say,
my dial-up subscription is ending, so I have
you're waiting for the new AOL disc to come in the mail.
Yeah, I got like 3 minutes left.
I think what he's referencing is obviously the thing that happened at the Capitol a couple weeks ago when he's saying that. Because if you look at the trailer, I mean, for Christ's sake, guys, the fucking working title of the movie was Mob Rules. And then he says many times when they've talked to him, it's about the entire city. It's about a group of people becoming angry and wanting vengeance and getting together and like the whole of Haddonfield going crazy because they're sick of this fucking shit. And when you see the pictures from the trailer of everybody like pushing the ambulance and like angry and around there, most likely around the hospital, I'm guessing, he's right. With all the riots and the crazy shit going on in the world, it's going to be a really weird time for this to release, even though it's going to be 10 months from now. I think a lot of people are going to be like, oh, they're trying to use that. The one thing Halloween has to its advantage is this shit was filmed in the can way before that shit happened, you know?
Yeah, in their defense, they're not going to have to worry about. I mean, I guess they could get bad press for it, you know, kind of, but ultimately I think people are smart enough to realize that this thing has been like filmed and this thing has been like edited and shit like that a long time prior to what happened on the Capitol. So you know, look, sometimes like the old saying goes, art reflects life and life reflects art. I mean, that just happens sometimes, and sometimes it's just accidental. The mob mentality thing can work for a lot of different reasons, though. The mob mentality of anything that's different, anything that you don't agree with, as far as like, I mean, you look at the old Frankenstein movies or the Elephant Man. There was mob mentality. They wanted to kill him because they were different. So I mean, it's the same thing. I'm not saying like, but in this case, the mob mentality makes sense. Could kill that fucker, lethal inject that cocksucker, put a goddamn pole of electroshock down Michael's throat, and hope he never comes back.
I'm tired of this shit.
Yeah. You know, it is what it is. I'm glad they're saying like he's at least, you know what they're doing. I feel like they're getting ahead of it. They're getting ahead of it because they already know the backlash that's going to happen before it happens. Like they're just being like, hey, by the way, just to fucking warn you, we're not political here at all. We're making a good Michael Myers story, but just in case little assholes want to come out on Twitter or whatever and be like, I can't believe these assholes are allowed to make movies because they obviously are leaning one way in politics, and I'm offended, and my nuts have gone back up inside me like a turtle.
Yeah.
They want to make sure that that is not the case. So, because look, the horror community, a really tight-knit community, no matter what your politics are, we all come together under the same umbrella that we love horror, we love Halloween, and they're just making sure that people understand that. So,
and I think in another aspect, he's probably kind of looking at it and going like, wow, this is weird how this ended up, man. What this movie is saying in a weird way kind of lines up with what's happening in the world. Now, granted, to be fair, the movie comes out in 10 months, and the world that we live in, so much shit's going to happen between now and October. Who knows what the fuck will be going on by then.
I went to the future 10 months ahead of it. It still sucks.
Okay, good to know. But I think that's what he's saying. I think part of him's probably actually wishing like, fuck, man, I wish this movie came out next week. It would really have a lot of tie-ins to what's going on in the world. But I
don't think he wants that though.
Well, I see what. Yeah, I don't know. I have no fucking idea. But I'll say this. I thought of it. I thought of it when that was happening. When I was watching on TV, this probably says way too much about how much I think about Halloween Kills. But when I was watching that happen, I was thinking about the mob rules, the fact that he keeps talking about this is about the community's anger and like all this stuff like that. Just the way that they've worded this whole thing, it feels like they're really trying to get in people's minds that the big centerpiece of this movie is actually the townspeople who are fucking pissed. So it's just interesting. I thought of it too. So I see why he comes out with that now.
Yeah, and if it had come back, if it had come out a few months ago, especially with the other riots and shit like going on, it might have been, they would have released the same kind of statement. I think that what they're trying to do is they're trying to distance themselves, and they're like, yes, there is going to be parallels there, but that's I don't think he's trying to claim that that's what he's trying to do. They're not trying to do that, which I'm thankful for. Thank fucking God. I don't want a Halloween movie infected with what's because you go to the movies to escape bullshit. You escape reality. I want Halloween and Michael Myers to be separate from the bullshit.
Yeah, and movies can be political, and that's fine. And movies can be what they want, but what you don't want is a franchise that you know what to expect all of a sudden being like, we need to say something about culture. Like, no.
Well, one of the worst offenses of that was The Purge.
Yeah, but that's kind of built for that, though. I mean, it's a movie about society. It's a movie about.
No, I know, but there's a way to do it, and then there's a way not to do it. Like when you're just over the cuff and you're showing your hand right away.
Oh yeah, they were pretty ham-handed with some of it. They didn't do it right in many aspects of it when they did it.
Ashlam Beats. By the way, I don't know if that's how you say your name. Says Mike and Jay, do you think it will be on HBO Max? I have no idea. I don't know. I think that Jason Blum, they've already said that it's going to come out no matter what. So he is sold on that date, and that date is going to be the final day. Whatever. If theaters aren't up and running and things aren't going the way they want them to go, and I don't know. I think what you'll get the you might get the same. You might get the theater release and the on-demand release. I think that the formula that they're already presenting is going to be the formula they go with. They adopt. I think all studios are going to start adopting that. Like it's not just one studio.
I don't know necessarily that it would be HBO Max either. The only tie-ins that I can think of, and maybe I don't know about one that Universal has that I'm not thinking of, but I think for the majority, a lot of the titles, at least that were on HBO Max, were coming through Warner Brothers. And then the only tie-in I know is that Halloween 2018, if I'm not mistaken, did debut first on HBO when it went to TV. I think it went to HBO before it went anywhere else. 2018 did. So maybe, but at the same time, HBO Max has already got their entire year fucking planned. So. I don't know. Well,
I don't think it'll be like an exclusive thing only on HBO Max. What I think will happen is it might be an on-demand kind of situation versus also at the same time having it released in theaters the exact same day.
Yeah.
So it won't just HBO Max. It'll be like, oh, if you have Time Warner or Dish TV or whatever, you can order it on demand and watch it while it's in theaters or something. And it'll be like $25 and that'll be it.
Yeah, I think this is a great movie to test the palette of we'll release it in theaters and it's not going to be on a streaming platform, but we're going to charge you $30 to rent it. Because I think that a horror movie with a big name behind it, that's a huge fucking title, is going to be one that I think you can get people to actually pay $30 and rent and watch it in home or go to the theater and see it. I think you're right, dude. I think you're going to get a little bit of both on this one.
It's going to come out in October. A lot of people are going to want to like chill at home and, look, hopefully the vaccine thing works and everybody gets, vaccinated or whatever. But at the same time, people are still going to be leery of going to of packed places like movie theaters and concerts, I think, in a lot of ways. And studios are preparing for that. So they're probably thinking like, you know what, if we release it on demand at the same time as releasing in the theaters, we're not losing much. I think we can do that and get away with it, which I think exactly what they're going to do. So it won't be a HBO Max exclusive. So
yeah, I don't think so either. I mean, there's a possibility that happens, but and again, the everyday person that's not a high risk or a frontline worker or essential or whatever the list goes down, I think the plan right now, it looks like, is they're hopeful that everyone will be able to have it by spring, summer. So October isn't really conducive to that. I don't think movie theaters are going to be a full go by then, but by October there could be a decent little, like, the theaters just have to be open. If the theaters are just open where you have the choice to go see it, then it could be debut on rental and debut in the theaters, and then everybody basically gets the best of both worlds, dude. Like, if you're like, no, I need to see Halloween Kills in theaters, I'm not worried about it. you can go see it in theaters. And then if you are worried about it, you can watch it at home. Only bad part about that scenario is that the pirating, obviously, it's going to get the fucking shit pirated out of it, especially if you're charging $30 for it.
Well, the pirating is always an issue. I mean, that's an issue even when they have the theater releases. Because I mean, I'm not saying we have or haven't, but there's been movies that have been out for like less than fucking 1 day, and they're already on the internet for everybody to enjoy.
But not when they're the bigger releases, though, they're always like cam rips and shit like that. So it's not as damaging. When they do it this way, you're gonna have a 1080p fucking 4K version
it'll happen. But I think that people want the movie industry to continue on, so they also understand if they keep doing that, then they'll die, and they don't want that to happen. Nightmare Kid says. He's like, I will pay no more than $30. I like that you're negotiating. That's what you'll say. I will pay no more than 30. 31, fuck you. Go have sex with your grandma. I will not pay 31. Are you serious right now? Like, I like that he's like negotiating. Like, he's like $30 my maximum.
It'd be cool if they did it for if they did it for like $8.99. That would be pretty dope. I think a lot of people would, if they did it at $8.99 price point. I think a lot of people would be like, I don't want to pirate it. I'm just gonna rent it. It's $9. I'm really excited about it. That's what I would have paid for a movie ticket. And the thing you have to worry about then is like, I'm gonna invite 17 people over and we're gonna watch it for $8. That's why. Yeah.
Well, that's kind of what back in the day, like VHS faced. I mean, that's what that's why the movie studios wanted VHSs to cost you $100 to buy. Because they felt that the payoff was like, oh, yeah, you could just buy the movie, right, for $25 and then invite 25 friends over and watch it. We're losing money. Right. But ultimately, the Supreme Court said, no, that's not fucking fair. You can't do that shit.
Yeah.
So, by the way, I do want to read this one as King of Evil Ganondorf Dragmire. He says, I returned. And this is how I picture it in my head. I returned and I can't sleep. So I started watching your Dr. Loomis and Michael Myers videos and ended up back here. I'll probably pass out soon because your shit bores me. You have nothing to give me.
By the way, I spotted that. That was McDowell Loomis right there that you were doing. That was McDowell Loomis.
No, I actually was just trying to do like a general British accent, but I guess.
Oh. Dude, that was spot on McDowell Loomis, what you were just doing. I swear to God. Yeah.
I should have got my black turtleneck out and ready.
Not sure says, favorite horror personality? I vote Chucky. Favorite horror personality? I'd probably go Patrick Bateman, American Psycho. Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna go. My favorite horror personality is Doug Bradley, Pinhead.
That's good.
I think that guy is fucking like. Listen, man, if you can talk in a British accent, explain very calmly how he's gonna rip your nipples out and then wear them in earrings and then get inside your flesh and then fuck your corpse, but at the same time tell you in a very nice British way, that shit's scary to me. Because he explains what the fucked up depraved things he's gonna do.
Dude, you know what a funny fucking skit would be if we could get the makeup to do Pinhead, and we should start a whole series like called Having a Beer With. Like, imagine having a beer with Pinhead. How funny that shit would be if he was sitting there in his full leather fucking shit, like his whole BDSM outfit, and he had the pins, and he's sitting there and you're just drinking a Coors Light in a bar, and he's like, so do you watch sports? He's like, the thing about sports is, it's just like having like a regular conversation, but in his voice.
But you got to be animated. Like, sports, you dare use that word when you question me. Like, I don't like it when they don't get the ball in the hole.
Yeah, like when he orders his wings, it's like, I'll have the spicy chicken wings. You know what I mean?
So what would you like to drink? A Mary. A Bloody Mary.
Marco says, best believe Michael's going to have a swing on that mob. Oh, dude, that's what we want. Like, I want Michael to like, what if the mob is like over here, like fucking beating on the door, like, we want Michael. And Michael just sneaks out the back door behind him and just starts walking through like fucking.
I hope it turns out like The Last Dragon. Not The Last Dragon, Meteor Man, when the Lords show up and they have a fucking fight off. I want him to be surrounded by the cops and the firefighters, and Michael catches the glow from The Last Dragon, but whoops ass like Meteor Man and takes on all the Lords. I want to have that happen.
Like John Carpenter's score take on You Got That Glow. Hey, I got sort of a breaking news thing that just happened here. Did not realize this was a thing. Dalton with the super chat, thank you, says Halloween Kills behind the scenes photos on Frank Stroda SFX Facebook.
Oh.
Let me pull this.
Thing, though?
Let me look at it and double check and make sure there's no spoilers here. I don't know. Again, this is coming from you. I don't know. This looks pretty damn legit when you look at the house and all that. There have been some fan films that look that way as well, but let's just take a look at it for the sake of looking at it.
Let's have an adventure.
Let's have a look at this, guys. Wow. This is wild shit. Patootie parts.
Pootie papooties.
This is apparently behind the scenes. This Frank Stroda SFX makeup posted this, and here you have Michael with the halogen, with the mask, standing there, and the house behind him on fire while everybody's doing their shit. That looks pretty goddamn logistical.
Oh yeah, I saw this earlier. Yeah, I saw this earlier. Yeah, I mean, it look, I think that's legit. I mean, legit, I 100% think that's legit.
Wow.
Yeah, it looks really cool. He looks great.
Yeah, dude, he looks like the mask. You could tell that it's like they didn't center the mask for the scene, but that mask looks like he just walked out of the fire, like the stunt actor did. Yeah. Because the mask looks like a little melty. Walked
out of a McDonald's bathroom and there's no toilet paper. But yeah, dude, I mean, I think that's legit, man. I think that is a leaked photo from a behind-the-scenes set, so we get a little closer up inspection of Michael's situation, and I'm liking what I'm seeing.
Look at that hand, dude.
Yeah. The hands all there, the mask. Yeah, it looks good.
Holy shit, that's pretty fucking dope.
You know what I would do, man? If I were, that particular pic looks so good. I wish that they could just somehow wash out the background with the guys in it and just have the flames coming on the back end of him.
Yeah.
And make that the Halloween poster.
That would be a dope-ass Halloween poster. I would switch up the mask a little bit because you can see it's not really centered on his face there. It literally looks, dude, like the stunt actor walked off set and everybody else is still filming the leaving behinds. Like he just walked past the camera and they're all like worried about the fire and shit. And he's standing there like, my fucking face is hot, dude. My face is so fucking hot right now.
So this is obviously Michael's attempt to be a goddamn fireman. Guess what? No, you know what? Yeah, I think that's legit, man. I mean, it's 100% legit. I don't know. I kind of feel bad for the creators because I don't know if they really wanted this shit leaked, but it looks cool shit.
At least there's no spoilers or anything here.
The mask is kind of like cockeyed a little bit, but you know what? It works for the flick though. If his mask was a little cockeyed because he was pulling down, or it was kind of melted a little bit, that makes sense.
Motherfuckers just walk through fire. So yeah. Pretty dope, man. Pretty fucking dope. Absolutely goddamn dope. All right. Sorry to break into the review there, but that's dope.
I'm a fire starter.
Twisted fire starter. What are you going to do on October 31st?
What are you going to do on October 31st?
Here comes that white-faced fucker, an asshole like no other. He's a big old piece of shit. Wants to stab your sister's tits cause he's a white-faced fucker. Loomis can't recover. Dr. Challenge drunk again, sleeping with your sister's friends.
Do you want to know about the darkness?
I said, God damn.
God damn you, Michael!
I said, God damn.
A lot of people don't know the darkness that goes inside their hearts.
I said, God damn.
God damn you, Michael! What are you gonna do on October 31st?